Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Rick Berube here. I'm going solo today. Solo, maybe no one will hear me. Right, Paul? Anyway, thank you. I am the king of dad jokes. Ask anybody I coach. I am very proud of how horrific and terrible they actually are. So anyway, today is, what is today? The 13th of January, 2022. Okay, and I coach a lot of you, so I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, okay, how am I going to maximize this year? And I'm going to tell you that to me, you have to take control of your business. How do you take control of your business? By becoming a listing agent. Now, that does not mean you don't work with buyers. You do work with buyers, and you should work with buyers. Okay, every one of your buyers should sign a buyer-broker agreement. As luck may have it, everything I'm going to be talking about right now, I'm going to elaborate on completely this afternoon on in my Success Series, live at 3185 St. Rose Boulevard, Henderson, Nevada. Also, it'll be on Google Hangouts. Okay, so check the links. So if you're in town, come see it. And I always talk about working with buyers today as well. That's a little shorter because it's a little easier, honestly. Working with sellers takes momentum. It takes time. It takes pipeline. Working with buyers takes, really honesty. Here's what you can expect today. Get them to sign a buyer-broker agreement and then move on. And for all of you thinking, well, I don't use the buyer-broker agreement, I would really rethink that position. Look, folks, you want them to be your client. It makes perfect sense. You have a fiduciary responsibility, and you want to have them be your. How can you do the customer thing? Especially if you just sold their house. They can't be demoted from a client to a customer. All right, so get the buyer-broker agreement signed. Stop making excuses. You ever notice how we can come up with just about anything? Oh my God, I don't use that because. My favorite is, no, we don't use that here. No, it's a form. It exists. It's actually better for the buyer once you explain it to them. So definitely explain it to them. Okay, so that's buyers. I think most of you, you're not, in any one of our markets, there's not a shortage of buyers. Being brutally honest with them as to what the process is, okay, will be completely helpful to them and to you. And if you lose one or two because of it, perfectly okay, because there's plenty of them to work with. That's number one. Now, being a listing agent in today's market, controlling inventory, controlling your destiny, controlling your business, right? If you were selling anything, you'd have to have inventory, right? Inventory. Like you go into a 7-Eleven, there's inventory. What if there's no inventory? I was going to make a current administration joke, but I won't do that. But you walk into a store and there's stuff on the walls, right? On the shelves, and you buy that. In real estate, you have to have inventory too in order to be successful in this business. The only difference between sellers and buyers is that it takes a little longer to create inventory, have your own listings, to sell, okay? Especially in a tight market. Now, everything I've read, and I do my little economist homework at the end of the year, usually the last week of December, which I did again this year, everything is saying inventory is going to come up a little bit for a lot of reasons, like especially in California. You have baby boomers. I read the stat when I did this was that California, our three states, California, Arizona, Nevada, California was the only negative growth. And that's the first time I've ever seen that. Now, it wasn't a lot. It was 0.07, okay, which is less than 1%. But still, that means California always has a truckload of people moving in, all right, and they have people moving out. Now, people from California, before you start defending that, it's a good thing for you. You guys, I think, what is it? 23% of the population or something crazy like that live in California out of the whole country. All right. So, you could use a little people moving out, and people have a lot of equity and their properties have appreciated tremendously. And the good news is for us here in Nevada and in Arizona is that that's where they're moving. Number 1 and 2 destination, is Phoenix, Scottsdale, and Las Vegas. Those are number 1 and number 2 destinations. Okay. So how do you control taking listings, having inventory? You got to control your time. You have to control. First off, it's a decision. Okay. I'm decided in 2022 to be in control of my business and my life. I have to be and in order for that to happen, I have to be in control of my schedule. So which goes to my 5 lead sources, which are your sphere, expireds for sale by owners, farming or just listed, just sold, whatever you want to call it, and social media. Just like this. Okay, when I started the business in 1985, if you told me I'd be doing live basically TV, social media on, Facebook. I wouldn't even know if you told me I'd be talking to my phone and it would send emails. I would tell you, would you think I'm James T. Kirk? I mean, that's impossible. But look how much the business has changed. But the nuts and bolts, the foundational part, has pretty much remained the same. The 5 lead sources, with the exception of one of them, which is social media, the 4 big ones have been the same for a long time now. So you have to decide, what am I most comfortable? I mean, every one of you should be working your sphere. No doubt about that. Systematically call your sphere at least 4 or 5 times a year. Probably 7 or 8 or 9 is even better. Alphabetically go through, make sure you've talked to them. Okay, simple things. I always start with how I know them. Okay, if I sold them a house, how's the home? I was driving in your neighborhood last week and I went by your home and I was like, oh my God, how's Paul? I gotta call Paul and check in on him, see how he's doing. How's the kids? What's going on? What do they always say? Boom. How's the market? Because it's a big topic right now. And there's your way in to talk about, you know what? I'm so glad you brought it up. I have a huge goal this year to help 50 people buy or sell real estate. Can I count you in? Well, what do you want me to do? I just want you to keep me in mind. Anybody that you hear about moving in your neighborhood, your office, in your family, okay, maybe a church, any place that you hear, I'm thinking of buying or selling, just keep me in mind. Write them a nice handwritten note, put 3 or 4 of your business cards in them, send them out. Okay, that's just one. And there's many different things you can check in with during the year. You have a great listing in a great area. Call your sphere. Talk about that. You're having a great open house. Whatever. There's so many things to talk about real estate that you can call the people in your sphere for. Next one is expired listings. Expired listings are a tremendous source. Every one of you should be calling them, especially the people in your area. You can call it your farming area. You can call it whatever you want. But you should be checking in. And I like the old ones especially, that expired 2 or 3 years ago that still are on the market. I mean, they've appreciated a tremendous amount. Call them. You look really smart when you call somebody and you go, hey, this is Rick with Berkshire Hathaway. I see your home was on the market a while back and it didn't sell. I was calling to see when you plan on getting it back on the market and getting it sold this time. Isn't that a great question? And it actually works. Well, that was 2 years ago. I know. And the market's incredibly much better since then. Right? It's appreciated another 35%, whatever it is in your area. All right. So if you're in Phoenix, that's almost just last year. It was 33%, 33.2 last year. All right. So there's so many great things you can talk about. You're in a market, you're in a business right now where everything is going well, except the interest rates, which is something you can talk about as well. They are bumping up if you haven't noticed. All right. We got inflation going on. We got all kinds of stuff happening. How do you hedge that? Real estate. But you also, they have to raise the rates, which they're going to, and hopefully not too fast this time. Okay, so that's expires for sale by owners. I was just talking to one of my coaching people this morning, brand new agent, and he said, I want to start previewing property. Go see the FSBOs. That's previewing property that you have a chance to list. Okay, so it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, very efficient. And I would recommend you do that. And you just get more and more comfortable being around people that are actually selling that need you by going to visit those for sale by owners. And don't lie. Just tell them, as a real estate professional in our area, I keep up with all the inventory. I see you're on the market for sale by owner. Love to come by and check it out. All right. And then make sure where you're going. When do you want to be? That you want to make sure they're motivated, which most of them are. But some of them are, just opportunist, pie in the sky, way over. You can tell by looking at it. Well, look at this. It's over here and everything's selling for this and they're asking that. So don't waste your time. But the ones that are motivated to sell and are in the realm of reality, price-wise, go see them. It's the perfect event for you to do every day. And there's a lot of for sale. But when the market gets hot, commission cutters start taking a little bit more business, and for sale by owners actually start selling themselves. But for what price? They don't realize that they sacrifice. NAR even says 11 to 13% of their equity or their price doing that. All right. So your job is to go in and show them what you're talking about. Okay. And then there's the just listed, just sold farming, which even some of my top producers today are doing very well with. So you have to decide, okay, I have these lead sources. Which ones am I going to work to start getting in control of my business, in control of my life? Okay. And that means I have to prospect. And if you're taking my success series, I say prospecting is freedom, right? If you prospect and you're consistent, it will give you all kinds of freedoms in your life, in your business, but you have to be disciplined about it. And the last one, the newest one for me, the one I used to make fun with, I can't even tell you what I used to call Facebook when it first came out because it's an HR violation. Yeah, it really is. And but now use it all the time. Why? Because I'd be telling everybody how horrific, horrendous, and terrible social media is, and they're telling me on my coaching calls that they did 5 deals last year from social media. 1 deal last month. I'm like, I better learn this. Now, when I started in the business, 1985, back in my day, I mean, in order to get the same coverage that you can get on social media for free, you had to have bus benches, billboards, newspapers, magazines, TV. You guys can get that for free. All right. Now, no, I'm looking at this video. Okay. I don't wake up in the morning, look at myself in the mirror and go, look at you, beautiful. I don't do that. I don't like looking at myself on videos either. It's not that attractive to me. But who cares? I mean, the only person that's beating you up in counting your wrinkles or your chins are you. That's the only person doing that to you is you. And maybe 2 really mean girls you went to high school with. The rest of the people are listening to your message. You're becoming familiar with a group of people. That's what you're doing. Okay? So make a commitment. It takes action. You know, I love when people tell me I believe in the law of attraction. So do I. But it's a package set with the law of action equals the law of attraction. You can't have one without the other. Okay? So decide. I'm gonna give you a quick affirmation. Okay, so let's say my goal this year was to sell 30 homes. And in doing so, I made $400,000. And I had to talk to 20 people a day, 5 days a week, 60 days a work quarter, 240 work days in a year, okay, to achieve that. My affirmation every morning would be, I talk to 20 people a day. I set 1 appointment a day. I sell 30 homes a year. I make $400,000. So if you take your goals, turn them into affirmations, okay, right, and you actually follow through with the actions and the lead sources we talked about, okay, this can be your best year ever because you're going to be challenged again this year because the market's going to be so good you can coast and get by. Or you can dig in and get control and really finish, okay, in the top of your office, in the top of your board, whatever, wherever you want to be, whatever your goals are, if you just start to take control of your time by taking control of what you're doing. All right, hopefully that helps. Hopefully I'll see you at Success Series on Google Hangouts or live at the St. Rose office. All right, you guys are awesome. Look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you for your time.